Today on the channel, I'm finally ready to make that call with the highly anticipated G.I. Joe Classified series, Dial Tone.
The spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another G.I. Joe Classified series unboxing and review. And today on the channel, we got a controversial one. We got Dial Tone. But for all your Dial Tone needs and a whole lot more, hit up jaystoysandgames.com. Use discount code Kyle, save yourself 15% on all in-stock items. Got to get a deal out there. However, Jay's does not have this yet. This actually came by way of good friend of the channel, future guest co-host on the Kyle Peterson Show podcast. It is Midwest professional wrestling legend, GIJOE. GIJOE helped me out with this Dial Tone. He had one ordered from Amazon and Hasbro Pulse. His Amazon one came long ago, and I said, don't cancel your Pulse order until mine comes. And I pre-ordered, I think, Amazon and maybe Entertainment Earth. I don't remember where. For whatever reason, I didn't do Hasbro Pulse. So long story short, I canceled that, got this one going. Thanks to GIJOE. And I helped him out too, got him at WWE Superstars Eddie Guerrero. So you got to have some help every once in a while, as we do know. And we also know how we're going to do this review. We're going to do this review like we do all the other reviews on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to see where it goes from there. And Dial Tone, a little bit of controversy with this one. And dare I say, Todd McFarlane, maybe a sprinkle of conspiracy with this one as well. As unfortunately, Dial Tone, a guy very controversial in the G.I. Joe canon, and believe you me, we're going to get to it, and it revolves around that no good Duke. You guys know how we do around here. But Dial Tone was one of those figures in the factory change from China and Vietnam that got lost in the shuffle, got lost in the mix. A big, I wouldn't say a big even, some of them went out to some people like Midwest professional wrestling legend GIJOE a couple of months ago. And a lot of people left holding the bag, waiting to see what's going to happen with Dial Tone. Like Sins of Our Fathers back in the day, the old G.I. Joe episode. But finally, here we are today. Dial Tone's finally in hand. So I can breathe a little easier right here. And Dial Tone, an OG favorite for me. I always say when I came into G.I. Joe, it was kind of the Serpentor era. I guess I liked him before that. I was watching it since day one. But that's where we were firing on all cylinders. I think I became of the age to understand things a little bit more. So that's always a special time for me. So guys like Dial Tone and Mainframe, Beachhead, Wetsuit, Leatherneck, I go on and on. Really more classic Joes to me than maybe the rock and roll stalkers and stuff of people that are maybe a little older than me. But I do like them all at the end of the day, especially my boy Flint, the greatest of all time, the true leader of G.I. Joe. And that brings me to the story, of course, Sins of Our Father, Todd McFarlane, one of your favorite episodes of G.I. Joe, and one of mine as well. Deeper into the second run of Joe's, whatever you want to call it, where they gave Dial Tone his walking papers. And if you've seen that episode, you probably see, wait a minute, what's going on here? There's shenanigans going on. Well, there's a lot of shenanigans, of course, when Duke's at the helm of these kind of things. You notice Duke was never in that episode. That was one thing to take note of. It was Flint and, of course, General Hawk leading the charge. That's a 1-2 combination I want to protect in the world, for sure. Especially against these globalist terrorist organizations and these sea monsters and big monsters and stuff. So check out the episode if you haven't seen it. But who had to give Dial Tone his walking papers? It was Flint. It was Flint. A true leader steps up. You think Duke could do that? Duke couldn't do it. He's like, we're getting rid of Dial Tone, but I can't do it. I can't bear to see him. I can't bear to look him in the eye. And Duke, of course, is just like, I'm just a chicken. You guys know Duke. And Flint's like, this is unbelievable. We are beret brothers. We both wear berets daily, of course. We can't be getting rid of Dial Tone. But then, you know, Duke was there, and then General Hawk said, well, we're going to let it be Duke's call for right or wrong, and blah, blah, blah. And Flint said, well, that's fine. I'll take these papers. I'll do the hard conversation there. Little did we know it was a big conspiracy. They were tricking him, of course. You don't trick your men like this. You don't trick a nice guy like Dial Tone thinking he lost his job. He's sitting in like a rundown studio apartment eating beans out of a can, cold, doesn't even have a microwave to heat them up. That's what Duke wants out of some of his best men. Where Flint, I'm going to take the bull by the horns here. I'm going to go after that. And then who was watching over Dial Tone? Because Dial Tone, hard up for money. He wasn't going to do those kind of things, Todd. He wasn't going to try to make money that way. but he was definitely going to try to elicit his services out there in telecommunications world. It's too bad the internet wasn't around back then. He probably could have got a job. Who knows? But instead, he went to work for Cobra, and it was terrible. He didn't want to do it, but man, you got to live, unfortunately. But who was shadowing him the whole time? Who was behind the scenes protecting him? Because they know there was something going on here. It was our boy Flint. Flint looking out for Dial Tone, his beret brother, until the end. And of course, we later find out it was a whole rouge and stuff, and they were tricking Dial Tone. Just terrible. And that was all Duke's plan. That's Duke's way of being a leader. Oh my gosh, get me out of here with this. But shout out to Dial Tone for persevering and wearing that beret and mustache just like a champion. But there it is, Dial Tone in the package here. G.I. Joe Classified Series, looking beautiful here. Up top, Dial Tone, G.I. Joe. 4 and up, you 3-year-olds, you know you can't handle this. Nobody can handle that. 149 there, 149. QR code on the side. We'll never check that out, of course. And in the background, I spy a little bit of Leatherneck. And what is that vehicle back there? Is that the Killer Whale? I don't think it is, but I thought it was Killer Whale at first. Jibber jabber down low, but a beautiful scene in the background there. Looking pretty good, but Dial Tone, like I said, a favorite of mine back in the day. Loved me some Dial Tone. Love me some Dial Tone now. Whoa. See you later. Goodbye. Boom. Spider-Man style. Goodbye. Plastic prison time. Dial Tone looking pretty good. Looks a lot like the Dial Tone I know back in the day. Never forget it. I bought Dial Tone at one Children's Palace once upon a time. Like Toys R Us, but more palace-y is what it was, really. More king and queen type things. Night of the Round Table type stuff. Of course, they also sold pets, like I think bunnies and rats and stuff. So, great place, Children's Palace. If you knew it and you were lucky enough to experience, kudos to you, of course. And now, Dial Tone gonna get his final weapon out. But it just really irked me. See you later. The Duke didn't even show his face in that episode. Behind the scenes and all that stuff, it's just terrible. Todd, you'd never leave an organization like that. I know that's for a fact. But now we're going to dive into old Dial Tone here. Dial Tone, he's got a little knife, and you can store it on the side of his leg there, down by his ankles there, all in black right here. You got to have a little knife. You never know when you might need that for something. Got a little, I guess, cell phone? I guess so. It's got the play button going on there. Is he going to detonate some stuff? He's going to make some phone calls? Who knows what he's going to do, but it is a little cell phone. Looks to be an iPhone here. He's an iPhone guy. He's not an Android guy, that's for sure. Duke's probably an Android guy. Nothing against you Android guys, but I got an iPhone, and I got to think I'm the exact polar opposite of the kind of person Duke is, as we do know. So Duke's got to have an Android. There's no way. What? He's got a BlackBerry? Oh, man, Todd, you got a BlackBerry. He's not like you. You're salt of the earth over there. Anyways, back to this. Of course, you guys love that Duke talk. You love that Duke talk. I know you do. But we got a very iconic backpack. I would say you put out the most iconic backpacks in G.I. Joe history, and we're going back to the 3 3/4 Real American Hero. Dial Tone right there at the top. There was a very cool iconic with that little curve up over the top. I don't know. I just remember it like it was yesterday seeing that one. And you know right away that's Dial Tone's backpack. So they got a little homage, yes, I know, to this one right here. We got the arm that comes down over the front. You can talk into it, see into it, whatever he's going to do there. You got the silver at the top. Brown down here, of course, not one color like the Joes of old. Does this come down? Does this backing thing come down? Why do I feel like this comes down? No, I guess not. Or does it? Oh, it does. It does. I almost missed that, but you can see right there. So the back comes down. He's got a full keyboard right there. Looks to be a mixer, maybe. I think, you're right, Todd McFarlane. I forgot all about that, about Dial Tone. Dial Tone, when he's not out on the Joe Battle Brigade out there, out fighting the team side by side with Flint, his beret brother, of course, he pops this bad boy down and he actually mixes albums. Yes, he's an albums mixer, dabbles in producing, but a big mixer. Very sought after in the hard rock world. And if I'm not mistaken, you're exactly right, Todd McFarlane. I'm getting to it. Todd always trying to interrupt over there. Todd, I got the microphone. Nobody can hear you, unfortunately. If I took the microphone off, maybe it'd be the other way. But he has mixed quite a few albums. He also mixed the debut album from We Are Harlot, good friend of the channel, Jeff George. Of course, Jeff George, big into Dial Tone and stuff. It makes all the sense in the world. But we'll never forget that Harlot album, mixed by Dial Tone, one of the greatest mixers of all time. Maybe next time Jeff's over here, he can tell that story about Dial Tone in the studio. Wild times with Dial Tone. He wasn't shy of partying, that's for sure. But looking good. I love this. You also got a little bit of back in there. So very, very cool. And you almost missed that. I like that in there. A little secrecy in there. His part-time job, I guess. But looking good, an iconic backpack if there ever was one. And then, once again, another iconic one here. Beautiful. Just absolutely beautiful. You got the big old machine gun here. Of course, we remember this from Dial Tone in the past. Got the little clip magazine, I guess. Magazine pulls right out of there, and it is, of course, Keyboard Warrior Monthly. A lot of you keyboard warriors out there are probably watching this video, getting ready to comment about their Duke Love. Save it for somebody that cares. You know how it goes. But after that, we do get the little weapon here. You get the little saucer here, I guess. Probably point this in a direction, and it gets, the sound waves and stuff, and you can spy on some people, things like that. All in black, no color with this one here, but very cool loadout for old Dial Tone. But now we're getting down to the man, the myth, the legend, the Dial Tone right here. And the beret brother wearing that beret. Is this beret going to come off? Oh, yeah, the beret comes off right there, looking good. Love the beret on there, of course, like a young Flint, or even Lieutenant Falcon, Nepotism 101, as we know Lieutenant Falcon. He's got his earpiece going on there. Goes all the way down around his neck. Got a push broom you can set your watch to. Love Dial Tone and his push broom. Always loved Dial Tone's voice as well. Good voice actor played him. 2 eyes, 2 ears, a nose, and a mouth, and a push broom. What more could you want? Very stoic looking there, because his heart's been played too many times. Dial Tone, you got a job. Dial Tone, you don't got a job. Dial Tone, you got to work for Cobra. Dial Tone, we don't like you. Dial Tone, we love you. He's a confused individual, as we know, and it's all because of that dastardly Duke. But looking good on the front right here. He's got the vest over the top. Once again, got the air canister or the gas canister and a grenade there. We don't need to talk about what Duke does with those, of course. You've heard that in previous videos. Looking good. Got the readout on his watches here as well. 2 watches going on. All kinds of stuff going on Dial Tone. But he is a communication specialist, as we do know. But it looks very, very nice. Love to see it, of course. Got a little telecom on the side there. You got a little horse going there. Is that because of the British are coming? The British are coming. Paul Revere. Paul Revere and the Raiders is your favorite band? I never knew that, Todd McFarlane. Of course, Paul Revere, he was saying the British were coming, and then later formed a great 60s rock group, the Paul Revere and the Raiders. One of my dad's favorites, of course. So shout out to Paul Revere and his Raiders. Don't forget the Raiders as well. We got the telecommunications logo there on the side with the horse. Have to think that's something combined into there. Got the big old vest over the top in green. Got the tan shirt underneath. Got the black gloves. 2 trigger hands out of the package here for him. Got a little holster right there up front. Also got a little walkie-talkie, because you can walk and talk at the same time with the old walkie-talkie on the side. Never know when you might need that. Got some green knee pads going down, some green boots, and some black pants. His belt here got all kinds of little pockets and stuff, obviously just sculpted in, but looking very, very good. A good Dial Tone. You hand me this, I know exactly who this is. I know this is Dial Tone all day long. Butterfly shoulders, arms all the way around, bicep cut, double jointed, pinless elbows playing the hits, hands back forth, side to side, head back forth, side to side, waist articulation. You probably got ab crunch, you just can't get to it with that vest over the top. Of course, hole in the back to plug the backpack into if you need be. Got the drop down hips for Dial Tone. Big old Dial Tone splits if you need them. Thigh cut. Double jointed pinless knees. Extremely tight. Got a little extra plastic on mine either. A little bonus give out there. Looking good. And then, of course, you get the ankles. Back, forth, side to side, up and down. And you get the boot cut. So the usual articulation. Now, where did this Dial Tone come from? He came from China. So something in that factory move. I don't know if they produced him in China and then they had to send everything to Vietnam. But I thought I heard somewhere that was part of the delay with him was the factory switch. But officially made it China, possibly the last China G.I. Joe. Maybe we'll see what happens in the future, I guess, here. But all things considered, Dial Tone looking very good. Love the looks of him. Of course, the Beret brother right here looking very nice. Dial Tone a must-have. Bring on wetsuit. Bring on mainframe. There's a lot from this era of the Joe team and Cobra team that I would love to see, and have to imagine they're coming in the future. And speaking of the future for Classified, we've unboxed a lot of Classified figures lately here on this channel. Have to imagine Footloose will be next, and everybody cut loose, Footloose. You guys know how it goes. So we'll see what happens when Footloose comes aboard. Can't wait for him, another Joe that is desperately needed in our collection. So there it is today, the story of one Dial Tone. And what's your guys' thoughts on Dial Tone? A must-have pickup for you? One of the lucky ones that got him months ago, or are you just getting him now? Let me know in the comments down below. And of course, you made it this far. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on the old notification bell. We got videos every single day. We got 2 YouTube channels with videos every single day. Make sure you sub to both those channels. You don't want to miss a video. Check out YouTube channel memberships and Patreon to support the channel. And for even more content and bonus content, Sir Paul64 on the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, Instagram, TikTok, and TheKylePetersonShow at gmail.com. My podcast, each and every Tuesday wherever podcasts are found, video cast on YouTube. My wife, Angie, breaks everything down and kind of looks at me like I'm crazy half the time, but it's worth checking out if you have not already. Give it a old 5-star review wherever you listen to your audio podcast at. So for Dial Tone from the G.I. Joe team, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.
Are we gonna dance or are we gonna play?
Get that real